Right, I'm inside of Maya. I just import the eye geometries that I made in GBrush. So this has a higher base resolution and mirrored over. So it's on both sides now. It's a bit hard to see, but there's a tiny bit of details here and there, especially the iris geometry. So it will help me to set the depths better. So they all have a Lambert at this point, and if I just run the test render, yeah, there'll be nothing. I mean, I only have one area light here, so this is my starting point. I do have a head texture, but I'm gonna only focus on the eye texture and some base shading as well. So yeah, so first thing first, open up the Hypershade and import my maps, right? And then set the color space. So these two are the displacement map, so it should be set to the raw. It depends on your workflow or color space. For me, I'm using ACE workflow ACCG, and all the input texture. If it's RGB, then it should be utility RGB and texture, and then if it's more of a Scala, then it should be set to the raw. Okay, and create new shader on Iris and the Scala. So Iris, and I assign my favorite material, which is AI Center Surface. Can also select under shader and surface, which is here. Okay, so Iris and Scala. So favorite material and AI center surface. So I just have a center surface shader. I'm gonna name it Iris. Same as Scala. Okay, so they all have a proper shader. People already, not yet. So I'm gonna assign anything is fine because it's gonna be pure black. So I'm gonna use the surface shader. This black. So Iris, start with connecting the displacement map. So Scala can go right into the displacement material. Same thing here. So Iris displacement map can go to the displacement slot. So these two are sets, and diffuse, and then the bump. Well, I'm not gonna use the bump. Well, it was actually made for a base like starting point in GBrush sculpting. I can maybe use this for like texture. I mean specular map instead. So maybe under Iris and specular color, it will help me out to break up the specular. And iris, it's probably not that glossy, so I will put this as 0.4. And the sclera will need to be very glossy, so start with maybe 0.1 as a starting point. And then they are all a subsurface object, so I can put the weight to the 1 and this one as well, and then put the diffuse color under surface color, subsurface color. So it's here. Okay, and well, these two are set, but well, this sclera, which we connect this diffuse color to sclera, it needs to be transparent in the front so that we can see through inside of our iris. So we need to bring the length and change the circular length. And change this to, well, like circle like this. So this is where the iris is supposed to go. It's a bit of guessing at this point. But I can connect this to a transmission so that I can actually see from the viewport or even render. So under transmission, which controls the transparency here, and then plug into the weight and color. And now I can see the eye here. And well, the area that it covers actually doesn't look too bad. I can maybe play with the slider to get better coverage. There's something like this. If you click this arrow button here, you can actually see it larger. So you can do more fine tuning if you need. And then change the interpolation to like smooth or other algorithm to get like different method. I guess this something like this will work. I hope. And then for displacement, just plug into the shading group doesn't work. So I actually need to go under Arnold and this is a attribute editor, and then there's a second tab under shape. So there's Arnold tab here. So under Arnold, there's a subdivision tab. So open it up and then set this to cat clock, which is cat mirror clock. It's a type of like subdivision algorithm here. And iteration, maybe 3 higher is better, but of course takes more time to subdivide the geometry. So 2 or 3, maybe it's fine. Displacement attributes, we are exporting as like black. Means that 0 point was not 0.5 but set as black, so this setting should be good to go. Auto bump, I usually turn it on, so it won't subdivide if it's somewhat distance away from camera, but it's gonna display it as a bump maybe instead, so it can save some time, I think. That's what I'm understanding. So these are the settings. I'm gonna do the same setting for the iris and sclera. So iris, cat crop, 3D, And then the Sclera one, since we're gonna use for transparency, turn the opaque option off so you can see through, otherwise the transparent won't work well. So I guess it's all set for initial render. The initial render will take a little bit of time to start the render because it needs to convert the textures to the TX. And eye color is very dark, which is not correct because we have texture here and have transparency and everything should work. So we need to find the reason. It's probably the subsurface a scale because if you see here, this is a floor grid and each box will be like 1 centimeter in real life scale. So this head is very, very tiny. So the entire thing is, I think, scattered too much. So if I change the scale to like 0.005, or I can maybe scale the entire head up, but I might do it later on the scale part. Same here, and just run the render again. And you can see the color. Still, maybe it's a little bit dark. And then the eyelids, I think it's a bit too bright or maybe alright. So maybe adjust label value a bit more. I think iris part looks fine. Maybe just the sclera area. So maybe increase a little bit. Actually decrease a little bit. I mean, this is not the finer shader value. I export these eyes and then import later when I do the actual look back on the entire head, and then I adjust the value later as well. But this is just basically whether my shaders are working with the all the displacement maps. So I can check, and which will show my displacement as well. Basic also will show the geometry with the displacement on. So I hide it, and this is my iris with the displacement. So I guess everything is working now.